What I'd like to do today is talk to you about rust inhibitors, and we have the only rust inhibitor in the market that's a dry rust inhibitor. There's three different types: a dry rust inhibitor, and then there's the high mineral content, and then there's a paraffin. Whether it's paraffin or a high mineral content, it's still going to have that high mineral content. It's going to be runny, and what happens is depending on your rust inhibitor, you're going to be having that high mineral content is going to come in contact with whatever oils or greases, lubricants that you have out there, and it's going to break it down. People are dealing with witness marks, smear marks, anything that is going to put a mark on your final part. 80% of that is due to your rust inhibitor. If you're using anything with a high mineral content, it's going to break down your lubricants. Now, I put on this grease on the two sides of this broad knife, and I know you're not going to be spraying this directly onto your ejector pins or your slides, but this represents the lubricant that you're going to have on your slides. So I'll spray it directly on it, and it's, as you can see, it drips. And you're not going to be spraying it this heavy, but as you can see, it has dissolved those fingerprints. It's broken them down, and so it's not compatible. Our rust inhibitor is compatible with the any lubricant, whatever grease that you have, and this is Moisture Guard. I'm going to spray it directly on here. As you can see, you can still make out your fingerprints. It's totally compatible. This will not break down in any of your lubricants. My Dilube, my Wear Guard, it's totally compatible with your grease, whatever you've got, Old Bull, silicone, whatever that grease is. This is compatible. I'm going to be eliminating 80% of your problem right away with this product out on the market. That's 80% of witness marks and smear marks come from your rust inhibitor. The other 20%, it can be attributed to whatever the type of lubricant you're using. We can address that with our Dilube and Wear Guard lubricants. The other thing I want to show you is that with the Moisture Guard, that's the perfect rust inhibitor. It's going to mold off in 2 to 4 shots. So you sprayed your mold last night at the end of second shift. Third shift comes in this morning. They start up. Second to fourth shot, you're going to have a keeper. This is going to have already molded off. The other thing is, if you have been working with anything that has acidic vapors, something like a PVC, anything with a flame retardant, you might have acidic vapors that are seeping into your mold. You throw a rust inhibitor on, it's going to corrode from underneath rather than the outside with the rust inhibitor. So you need to be able to neutralize those gases, acidic gases coming to the surface overnight. Within 12 hours, if you just went with a regular rust inhibitor, it's going to be corroded from underneath from the acidic vapors. Number 300 Ultrafine Dry Mold Shield is the same formula, basic formula as the 101 Moisture Guard, except about 40% of this is a neutralizer. So that's going to overcome your problems. Plus, with the Moisture Guard and the 300 Ultrafine Dry Mold Shield, we've come up with one more product, and it's called 201 Blue Coat. It's the exact same formula as the Moisture Guard, 101 Moisture Guard, but we put a blue colorant into it so that you're going to be able to see where your employees have sprayed it. One other thing I want to mention when it comes to the rust inhibitor, just be sure that the temperature of the mold that you're spraying it on is below 160 degrees. Anything above, it's going to start drying it out and will lose all properties of rust inhibiting. So in order to do that, all you have to do is run the water a little bit cooler. If you've been molding at 400 degrees or 300 degrees, you have to cool the whole inner part of the mold. Don't just get the face of the mold, because it's going to raise the temperature up after you put it back together.